we had blackened our faces and made flashlight signals, and we were put on a small boat by some engineer guys and taken across the river and dumped on the other side. Of course, we had our faces all blackened and caps on and nothing that made noise. And we were fairly well armed with each one of us had a pistol, and I had a rifle, and my sidekick there, the only guy that was with me, had a submachine gun, the old Thompson submachine gun, the Chicago typewriter. So we went across the river and we were quiet for a long time, heard some Germans talking, and then finally we moved out on hands and knees, because that was the front line. And there were German pillboxes. It was the Siegfried line right there on the other side of that Moselle River. And we were on our hands and knees, and that's the first one. Evidently some German soldier had used this place for his latrine, and I put my hand on this railroad track and I went into this big pile of feces and so rubbing it off, and of course the other guy almost starts to laugh. We cleaned that off and then quietly went past the railroad tracks and then up hills, past pillboxes, and we could see pretty well. At that time I could hear very well and see well enough. I remember I'm walking ahead of him one time through here very quietly, slowly, and suddenly I feel this hand grabbing my hair and pushing down, and he says, and he whispers that somebody's coming. Sure enough, all lying down on the grass to the side, and here comes this German patrol going by, or messengers, I don't know what they were. So we keep on going, and we probably went several miles, and behind the enemy lines there, and at the finally dawn is coming up, and we decide, well, we better not too much activity around here, we better settle in. So we settled in some bushes and by the side of a road. And I should mention that with us, what we had with us was a cage with 2 pigeons and some paper so we could write messages and send the pigeons back. And of course we were there with this cage with 2 pigeons in this bush, and the German platoon, about what, 30 guys, marching up the road singing "Around Pont Rome" or something like that. And so we're there and hiding in this bush as these guys with machine guns and rifles are marching by. And this time the pigeons decide to go coo coo. And so my guy's there, he's got a pigeon around the neck with each hand, and "Shall I kill him, Lieutenant? Shall I kill him?" And I'm saying, "No, we need him." I said, "No, don't kill him." And eventually these guys went by, and they released the pigeons, and sore necks, I'm sure. And we moved a little bit more, and so we could see down to the valley. One of the things we'd been sent out to check was they'd heard train noises, and they wanted to know about a train that might be over there. We never did see any train. We heard a train once, it seems to me, but never saw it. But we saw a lot of artillery and mortar positions, and we writing it all down and writing a message, and sent our message out by the pigeon. And the message actually arrived, finally, I found out. So then we spent most of the day moving very little, because after running to that patrol we didn't want to do too much, but enough so we could see over one side of the hill to the other, and saw some artillery, infantry going by, trucks that might have gone by. We wrote that all down, but never any train. And then, I don't know, 1 night or 2 nights we did that. Well, anyway, eventually, when we figured our time was up, we started heading back the same way we came. And we got to the hill of the river, overlooking the river, and there was an awful lot of activity. Then it got dusk, and we were ready to go down, but we didn't want the boat to come across too soon. So we sent a signal out that says, what do you call it? Was it AS, I believe, and that was the signal to wait, wait. We finally got past this pillbox, down here very slowly, and got to the edge of the river. Oh, we wanted a prisoner. We wanted to pick up a prisoner. So we were waiting there to see if somebody goes by and we can jump on this prisoner. And eventually, here comes this guy. And I'm supposed to jump on him, and just about he gets even with us, and it's a cook, and he's carrying a whole stack of pots and pans. You better not jump on him. So we didn't, and well, anyway, my sergeant there, opened up with his machine gun. It heard somebody coming up, and shall I shoot, and then he shot and sprayed the thing, and that's the jig's up. Everybody knows we're here now. So I said, well, we have to swim across. So he dumped his machine gun and went to swim across, and I did the same thing. I dumped threw my rifle in the river, but I saw his machine gun was still over on the edge, so I went to pick up his machine gun to throw in the water, and I got stuck in barbed wire. I had my clothes on and everything else, so there I couldn't move, and it was cold, it was winter. I eventually wound up with all my clothes off, all my shoes, nothing on but a GI shorts, my glasses, and my wristwatch, and blind as a bat, and cold. So I managed to get away from that wire, tearing everything off and leaving it there, and went up to where those railroad tracks were, and was warming up, doing exercises, push-ups and running up and down, and all of a sudden this guy comes out of this pillbox. My place for PT was the front door of a German pillbox, and this guy comes out there and takes a look at me in there, and I'm jumping up, and just about that time he shoots me and hits me in the arm, and I figured, well, I've had it, so I said, okay, I surrender. So it turns out he's a real old guy, maybe 60 years old, a Volkssturmer, and he was there. The Volkssturmers, you know what those are, the People's Reserve or something. So he, very proud of himself, of course. In the meantime, other German soldiers hear the shot, they come running out, and they all take me down into this, downstairs, into this pillbox. And there's maybe a dozen or two German guys, and they're not too excited about me. The sergeant in charge, I could speak German, I'm from chemistry school, and he looks up and sees this guy and me, and he says, "What kind of a bug have you got there?" in German. and one of the guys that I'd talked to before, he says, "I don't know what kind of a bug he is, but he says he's an American officer." So one guy spoke a little bit, and he asked me a few questions, and I just gave him the name, rank, serial number. And so they locked me off in the corner, put a Band-Aid on my arm, or wrapped it up with a bandage, and I just stood there in the corner. And I still remember that room. A table there, and benches, and a few chairs, and equipment all over the place, gas masks and guns and whatnot. And I'm just sitting in this corner, cold as hell, and the guy throws me this blanket, so I have that blanket over me, which helped a lot. And then I finally went to sleep, and God gives me a little bit, and move. So I get up, and there's I think probably an officer, maybe a sergeant, and comes with me, and he takes me with this I'm by himself, great big guy, and we're out of the pillbox and walking down the road, and he looks down at me and holding me by one arm. I'm really big, 6 foot something, and he looks down at me and says, "This goddamn war, it's all Roosevelt's fault."